Hello there, everyone. My name is Matt, and we're going to be playing some Rebel Inc. today. This is a continuation of the series in which I play through the weekly challenges. So every week, Ndemic Creations publishes a new set of weekly challenges, one normal difficulty and one brutal difficulty. Each of them has their own tactics and features that make them unique and usually a little bit more challenging than the main game. I am going to open the Brutal Challenge for this week, analyze the tactics and features with no knowledge of what to expect, and then play through it and hopefully win and kind of talk through my process. I do want to preface this does require some familiarity with the game. This video and this series are not intended for new players. At the time of this recording, I am working on a how-to-play series that will be for beginners. If it is published by the time you're watching this, then that will appear in the description of this video. But in the meantime, if you want to watch along, let's go ahead and dive right in. So here's our weekly challenge. And Operation Summer Shark. Let's take a look. So, interesting. All right, so right off the bat, we have the civil servant as our governor. He is the vanilla governor. He has no special abilities or anything unique about him. He's designed as the base governor. And then behind him, we have Saffron Fields, which is the most basic map. Now, I made the mistake in a previous challenge of saying, oh, that means it'll probably be straightforward, and it was not. It was a rather difficult one, so I don't want to say that this time. We don't start with any territory, and neither do the insurgents, and we have one advisor, increases frequency of airstrikes. So that means the airstrikes are going to be valuable in this game, and they'll be more powerful than they ordinarily would be. So all that's pretty straightforward. Let's look down below. Map features budget. Oh, this one's interesting. Okay, budget deadline. Income stops after 10 years. So that means there is a limit to when I am going to continue to get money, and I have no special features that will allow me to get that. There are governors that do have other forms of income. The civil servant is not one of them. So this means that after 10 years of play, I will gain no additional money. So I need to make sure that everything I want is purchased by that point. Let's see. Under player tactics, I start with a coalition soldier. That can be valuable if I know where the insurgents are going to be, which I do not in this case, because I can go try to destroy one of their camps before the insurgency even starts. They're probably up in the mountains, knowing Saffron Fields, but I just don't know. Tripwires, when destroyed, garrisons kill all insurgents in the neighboring zones. That, if positioned properly, can be very valuable. I don't want to overuse this. Like, I like my garrisons, but I don't want to overuse this occurring because I do not have. I'm going to run out of money eventually, which means I won't have a way of getting a garrison back if it gets destroyed. So that can be really useful, especially in the end game. But I have to be careful before I do it. And then soldiers can support while fighting. That's pretty useful. Nothing too dramatic, but that's pretty useful. The only other thing I want to mention before I move on to the insurgent tactics, the only thing I want to mention about the start with a coalition soldier is this can be a double-edged sword. I think I started to say that because if I can find where the insurgents are, I can get rid of some of their stuff quickly. But at the same time, I'm also going to irritate any zone that I go through because I will not have a way of getting rid of that. So I want to keep this guy mainly in the remote zones. I also can choose not to deploy him, which I might do. We'll see. Alright, insurgent tactics. Small groups of insurgents run to neighboring regions when hit by airstrikes. So that's interesting. So these two are going to combine together because we have increased the frequency of airstrikes, and small groups of insurgents run to neighboring regions. Now, in my experience, this isn't too bad because by the time you get to airstrikes, you generally have the insurgents fairly well contained. But what it means is that if there is any open zone that is not protected by a soldier or a garrison, and an airstrike hits, they will run to that zone. So you just got to be more careful about containing them as you do it. And then finally, insurgent strength increases in zones with a cave, which means that at some point I will need to get the cave tactics, or the cave combat tactics. So I think with all this in mind, this is definitely the biggest thing I have to consider. If I can get the insurgents contained before that 10-year deadline, then I should be okay. It's just a question of whether or not I'm able to do that. So yeah, so let's see how it plays out. Let's dive right in. All right, here we are, Amber Pasture, which is just Saffron Fields. My go-to place to have the HQ is right here, especially since the insurgents usually end up here, and this is the most well-connected. So let's go ahead and start right here, and let's kick it off. Intel, anti-corruption. Let's get ourselves some stability here, some education, and then back over to Intel. Let's let it tick down. And what we'll do is we'll use the soldier to start gathering intel in places that are going to be harder for me to get intel initially. And I have to look out, so March of 2012 is when I'm going to hit that budget deadline. Okay, let's go ahead and get ourselves... Does anyone want anything yet? No, not yet. Go ahead and get ourselves anti-corruption 1. Just get that early, and let's get ourselves some health. What I'm gonna want to do is, I think I'm gonna need to prioritize roads. Yep, that was quick. I think I'm gonna need to prioritize roads because I definitely want at least the first level of every road type before we hit that budget deadline. So let's go ahead. That does make it so, with that insurgency actually in this particular scenario, the insurgency popping up as quickly as it did isn't the worst thing, because it means I don't have to pay for a second soldier, and I still get a second coalition soldier, excuse me, and I will still get to use it for most of the time that it is available. So that's not a terrible thing, honestly. Let's go ahead and get those two. It's not here, so the camp is in one of these 3 zones. Probably this one. Let's see if I can get to that one first, and then let's get my first national soldier going. Oh, okay. Well, I saw it too late. There's one right here. Let me see if I can push these guys back, and they can support while fighting, which is going to be very useful in this case. Let's go ahead and, yep, there we go, that's good. Let's go ahead and get some roads going, I think. Alright, and people want water. I can get that going as well. Alright, and what I want to do is if they end up going towards the HQ, I can deal with that. I don't want them to go down this way if I can avoid it. Nice and easy. Getting my initiatives out. Not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and make it go a little quicker, actually, and then I think I'm gonna push PR. Alright, we're a year and a half, give or take, into our deadline. This is going... We can start to get garrisons going. You know what? Actually, let's start the next soldier. Electricity is in need as well, and that will help us roll out some more initiatives. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to get telecommunications going soon too. This is almost stable though. That's really not too bad. This is going fairly quick. We might be okay here. Yep, they control a number of zones. That's expected. Let's go ahead. I think corruption is still relative. It's high, but for this stage in the game, it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and roll out some garrisons. Okay, yep, that is the perfect place for that to arrive. So this is definitely, when you're playing Saffron Fields or Amber Pasture or whatever it is, this is definitely the best zone to have a garrison in this stage in the game because it protects all of these zones. So if you are ever playing this and you have the opportunity to place a garrison there, absolutely you should do so. Alright, water. Someone's asking, 2 people are asking for telecommunications. It's faint, but it's there, so let me grab that, and then I should have enough, and then I think it's time for the first level of PR. Alright, let's get you out here. And I think just 1 level of PR will push this over the edge. Oh, cave. I'm gonna need to get cave tactics at some point, but not yet. Should be okay for right now. This guy is not, let's see, corruption, or let's start with anti-corruption. Let's do that first. Insurgent activity is the one causing the most problems, but again, we're in pretty good shape right now. We haven't hit our lack of stability yet. I think I'll grab PR next, and then I think that will have that part taken care of. I'm about a third of the way, yeah, I'm 3 years, give or take, into the game, so a little less than a third of the way before I start to run out of money. So let's get the first level of PR. I might be able to get away with only 1 level of PR in this game. Let's see. And when you have that budget deadline, you just gotta constantly be thinking about, all right, what do I need to spend my money on? What do I not? All right, let's pop you over here. I think, okay, great. 1 getting stable already. It's good. I was right about that PR pushing over the edge. I think next, coalition deployments. All right, we're gonna lose our first one. So I think then in that case, it's important to get the next one started. Okay, because they're holding them off pretty well. This garrison is going to help. And then I think I need to go for corruption. Nope, never mind. Now I need to go for Foreign Relations Office. He's not currently fighting, so I'm going to get rid of him now. Bring him up here. So now we never lose our wall. I'll have enough for Foreign Relations Office. Actually, it's good that it popped up now. It would have been bad if it popped up after the deadline. I do not want to put a garrison there. This is a remote zone, so it'll be easy to protect. All right, I can do that. Foreign Relations Office purchased. That's a purchase you only need to do once, so now I don't need to worry about that for the rest of the game. I might be able to skip highways, actually. Yeah, I mean, right now this is rolling out pretty well in these zones, so I might be able to get away with not buying highways, which again, I think I need to prioritize my money on other things. Let's get anti-corruption 3. Alright, I still know there's a base somewhere in here, so maybe drones would be a good thing to get. We do have our airstrike. Okay, alright. They're about to attack, so I'm going to let him fight them off first. Then I think I need to increase the power of my national soldiers. Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, yeah, these are good. I might be able to get away with no highways. I think I'm going to try it. Because again, it's not super expensive, but that's $8 that I can use on something more valuable. What are these? We got main roads, and this is primarily where I need my movement. So yeah, I think usually I like to get all levels of roads, but I think here it is more valuable to use other things. Like putting another garrison there is a great way to go. Alright, let's see what we got. Once he's out, I can pop him here, and then I'll have my wall back up and running. I don't have security. If I approve it, oftentimes the insurgent. So with this one, this is one of the few. Whenever you get a project like this, usually it just helps with giving it to the whole region. It helps giving support level to the whole region. This is one of the few where it can actually be really bad for you if you approve the project without security, because the insurgents can just pop up in this zone and attack it. So we are going to reject it. We'll take the support level hit, but it's better than accidentally ending up with insurgents there. Alright, insurgents attacked at exactly the wrong moments. I think what I'm going to do is get some extra movement. Slowly in those up. Let's go ahead. I think we can skip them for now. I think I'm gonna get more anti-corruption. I think corruption is one of the bigger sources of reputation loss right now. So I think I need to get that as much of that as possible. I'm about halfway through my budget period, and we're doing pretty well. So yeah, let's see what people want. No major region, so I think I might have enough to ride it out. I might start getting some job initiatives, because I think that will help with the remote zones in the end, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I still have some time and I have some money, so let's see it. What I definitely will need... Okay, well, we're starting to get peace talks. What I definitely am going to need is my last soldier, so maybe I should start with that first. I already have all my levels of anti-corruption. Let's start with the last soldier. That'll take some months to come out. Again, we're doing okay. I also think that those will all click. I just don't want to risk another camp popping up during this time. Let's go ahead and do this first. What's their capability at? 100%? That's low enough that I can threaten them and antagonize them a little bit. That's fine. That's probably going to be, subtle pressure. I'll wait for that to tick up all the way. What I think I'm going to do is start getting my drones airstrikes. That'll help me take out some camps, lower keep their capability low. That's late enough? Nope, not enough. That's alright. That's alright. The next one, I'll have a more than 50% chance of lowering their capability. Okay, let's see. I think I'll go for the airstrikes. I've got, let's see, what was it, March 2012, give or take? So I got 4 years left, so I'm close. Getting close to the end, but honestly, this is going pretty smoothly. We're in pretty good shape, and I think once the airstrikes come, they're gonna scatter. Yeah, insurgents splitting, group of insurgents split off into another zone. Again, this is fine as long as I keep them contained, so I just have to be careful about that and always make sure I have support. Once I have a fourth soldier, that'll be much easier to do. Cool, awesome. All right, these are all getting close, so I think I'm going to start working on jobs and start rolling those out. And because what I really want, honestly, is just this remote subsidies. That will help in the late game once I'm trying to stabilize these zones up here, since these are the ones that are the most hostile. So, and what I do want to do is get precision munitions, so that way I don't need to worry about I don't have to worry as much about possible reputation loss from hitting civilians with an airstrike. I think that's a good place to put it. Did I already get? I want to get this too, combat reinforcements. Let's go ahead, once this guy comes out, I think I'm going to get... Alright, we're at 70. I'll let it tick up a little bit. With this one, see, it's at 71. It was at 70 before, so over time, it'll constantly rise. I like to let it get to its highest points before I do it, unless I'm really in a stinking need to lower their capability. I think I want to get... Is combat reinforcements going to be that valuable, though? I think let's go for remote subsidies. And let's get one level of livestock development. That'll help with these zones down here. you're also the big one that I want to stabilize. Maybe I'll get one level of jobs that relate to urban. Yeah, we're at 76, great. Maybe I'll get one level of jobs that are specific to urban, but I mean, that's going, and that's one of the more urban ones, so maybe the other ones will be okay. Alright, let's... yeah, these ones are going. I don't think I need to worry about that too much. Let's worry about... I'm losing a decent... Yeah, insurgent activity is the big one, so I need to focus on that. Let's go ahead and get my last level of that. I remember earlier I said I wasn't gonna go for that, but I think I want to because these are gonna be my main fighting force. I can't rely on having enough money to get a coalition soldier again. Alright, let's go ahead and grab combat reinforcements. And you know what? Before I forget, I'm gonna get cave combat tactics. I might not need it yet, but I will, and I don't want to forget about it. Because once I hit that deadline, then I cannot rely on being able to buy too much else. This is going slowly, but it will flip on its own, so I think we're okay. I think I'm also going to grab strategic communications, and that should probably flip the rest of it. And that will help in the late pushes. And I think I might honestly save the rest of normally what I'd go for next is like universal justice and then some security, but I'm doing pretty good at containing them, and I really need to keep some money in my pocket. I got 2 years. Maybe I can get let's get the first level of security rolled up, and that way, just in case some of them slip past me, I have a backup. See, this whole talking through my steps thing actually helps. But no, I think at this point I've got about 1.5 years left. That's gonna be what's my yearly budget, which I can find. Where's my yearly budget? I thought it was over here. Apparently not. I can't remember where my yearly budget is off the top of my head, but let me see. Yeah, that's all right. It doesn't matter too much. Usually I get 3 to 4 every year. Money budgets, annual budget. That is impossible to know what that is. That doesn't help me too much. That's all right. No, I know that on. Okay, so I guess this is another thing that I like better about the phone version is that it's very clearly right here. But I'll just see what my next month is. I just got 5, so let's say $4 to $5. Times 18, give or take, is gonna be somewhere in the range of, I don't know, $90 total, so I have money to spend. So I got the first level there. Both of those are doing fine. Let's go ahead and grab more frequent airstrike, and let's grab the first, let's grab civil assistance. And I think that'll be enough to ride it out. Okay, we're slowly pushing that back. This is going to be subtle pressure, and it's at 100, so I'm just going to go for it. Okay, great. Let's move you up here. Great. Whoops, that's not what to do. Oh, found a camp. That's good. I think I'm actually going to move you over here to make sure that this zone is protected, since this zone has a garrison. Probably not a big deal, but just in case some insurgents pop up and spawn from this camp in the last couple seconds of it being alive, and it ended up not being a problem. So now at this point, again, I have money to spend. I want that, and I want this, because now we just need to focus on the remote zones. 36 is fairly low, but I think I'll threaten them once more. At this stage in the game, I'm probably going to get more opportunities. And I think I'm going to grab the second level here and larger bombs. And then I've got less than a year left. So I'm not sure if I actually need anything else. I think this, I think this will probably be enough to ride me through the rest of the game. Let's see, got that there. I'm attacking this one because oh, perfect. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. So now, what I'm actually gonna do is use one of our features here. I'm gonna let them attack this zone, and that will take out all of the insurgents. So they're gonna scatter with that airstrike. They're gonna come down into, hopefully come down into this zone. Sooner or later they will attack it. And then once they destroy that garrison, that will take out everything else in this area. So I think that's worth doing, because that is going to be easier in the long run than actively fighting through all those zones. I just need them to attack. Of course they're not attacking now. Alright, hopefully they'll scatter from that. My brilliant plan relies on them being aggressive, and of course they decide not to be aggressive. Budget frozen. Alright, we have no more money for the rest of the game. Alright, let's go ahead and try to talk. Alright, I really wanted to attack just because I want to do this. I think it would be really cool to do. At this point, I know we are going to win this game. So I just really want to play around with that particular tactic. Are you even revving up soon? Alright, if they haven't attacked by the time this piece goes through, I'm just gonna go with my original plan of just pushing through. Oh, wait, we're getting some movements. Let's antagonize them. Let's see if that pushes them to attack. Where are we moving? Alright, no, okay, no, they're going the wrong way. Alright, I will attack elsewhere, I guess. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not just gonna sit and wait around for it. And they're going over here to attack. You can see that airstrike. Oh, yep. All right, let's cover it up. Usually I cover it up if I have the option to. Let's see what we got. All right, that's gonna be a regular one. Let's go ahead and cut their supports. And let's move you up here. Oh, wait, hold on. Going for it. They're finally going for it. Awesome. Let's let them take it. And that will, and you know what? To make life easier, I'm gonna grab my last, I'm gonna grab a coalition soldier. What I can do is, as soon as they take this, which won't be long, if they destroy it, then, police might get another. We'll see. Hopefully they destroy it. What I think I'm actually gonna do is just send both of these guys up here. Because if they take this over and they end up destroying it, then that means it's gonna take out every single insurgent. And I might honestly be able to do that on my own, but I really want to try something cool here, so let's see if it works. Yep, alright. Okay, alright. Are they doing it? They're doing it. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, okay, it's a little late. That would be really cool if they had attacked it earlier, but, you know, not much I can do about that. Alright. They destroyed it. It should have destroyed everything, and I believe it did. Let's go ahead and take a look. Active fighters, yeah, 2. It's in the caves. Alright, let's just go ahead and, yeah, that wasn't as cool as I was hoping it was gonna be, but what can you do? I probably could have just attacked straight away, and it would have been fine, but, ow. Wanted to try something a little different. Let's go ahead and just plow through the peace talks. And once it hits here, agree to peace deal. All right, and that should be it. That's all she wrote. Peace deal completed. And we just gotta wait for, okay, there's 1, 2, and 3. Oh, great, glad. And 3, and here we are, all green. Okay. We are officially, and we've completed this week's Brutal Challenge. All right, this was honestly a pretty easy one. I didn't really have any trouble with this. Again, that deadline was coming, and that deadline was a problem. But realistically, I didn't run into much trouble with it. I ended up by the time, I mean, you guys, if you watched this, you saw it. By the time I reached that point where I hit the budget, almost everything was stable already, and I had the insurgents completely cornered, and I still had money to spend. So I don't think I was as tight as it was going to be. I think that this particular challenge might have been more interesting in a different map, just because I think that this was a little too vanilla. There weren't enough disadvantages that I had to like play around with. Even you saw at the end, I was really trying to get them to blow themselves up with this, just to do something a little different. And even that, I mean, again, that's RNG. That's nothing anyone can do about that. I was hoping they'd attack sooner though, so it would blow up all of them instead of the last few remaining. But you know, it was, yeah. I think this one, I mean, you guys saw it. There was never really a time where I was super worried. Stability grew at a pretty consistent rate. I lost one stable region when I was letting them take it. My reputation stayed high. I don't think it dropped. It dropped below 60 once and then almost immediately came back up. Corruption was a little bit of a problem at the beginning, but I got all 4 levels of anti-corruption early, and that was pretty quick. And I had plenty of budget to last me to the end. So, yeah, this one was not a particularly difficult one. If you're looking to break into brutal challenges, I strongly encourage you to try this one if you haven't done one before. But, yeah, other than that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next week.